we live in a twilight world. So I'm going to read you paragraph 17 and 18 from the chapter Attack Strategy, Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Paragraph 17. Thus we may know that there are 5 essentials for victory. Number 1. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. Number 2. He will win who knows how to handle both superior and inferior forces. Number 3. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. Number 4. He will win who prepares himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. Number 5. He will win who has the military capacity and is not interfered with by the sovereign. Paragraph 18, which is the final paragraph of this chapter. Hence the saying, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you will not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Okay, so obviously I haven't read you the whole chapter. I don't want to bore you to death. But yeah, this is a chapter called Attack Strategy. And the main thing I want to focus on is point number 3 of paragraph 17. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all of its ranks. That's a pretty important one, right? Now, if we look at the most recent conflict, whatever we want to call it, Operation Epic Fury, USA and Israel versus Iran, the Straits of Hormuz, 2026. The USA clearly lost. And it's not really a surprise, is it? Because the people of the United States did not support this military action. The politicians, both friend and foe, did not support this military action. The allies of the USA did not support this military action. But most importantly of all, the soldiers, the airmen, the sailors, the intelligence operatives did not support the military action. So, of course, the United States of America was going to lose. The same applied to the War on Terror. The same applied to the Vietnam War. I've said this before and I've said it again. The whole point of the US military is to lose every battle and lose every war in the most expensive, prolonged way possible. Okay, this is their role in the double-cross empire. So once again, this is further evidence of illusion warfare. What's the point of going to war when all of the circumstances, all of the positions on the chessboard are set up so you're going to lose? Now, the people running the USA and specifically the US military, they're not stupid. I know a lot of people might think that they're stupid. They might appear to be stupid. They might play stupid on the world stage, but they know exactly what they're doing. Okay? These are like script writers and directors. They know exactly what was going to happen. They're not that foolish to think that they can go to war when even their own soldiers, airmen and sailors are not on board and have some sort of victory. I'm sure you heard all of the stories floating around how, some of the sailors in the US Navy were essentially sabotaging their own ships and blocking up like the plumbing and setting fire to the laundry and stuff like this on purpose so they didn't have to go and fight for Israel, as they put it. Within the military and Air Force, lots of letters were sent, to their superiors saying how they are not on board with this, they don't want to be a part of it, they're not comfortable with it. But once again, like I said, this is all by design, yeah? This is all how it works. Like, very rarely do they ever go in and do a successful mission, meet all their objectives and get out, and then the world carries on. It's always a blunder, it's always a disaster. This then creates further escalation. You're doing one event, knowing full well it's going to create the next event, which is going to create the next event. a domino effect, or the butterfly effect. Whatever terminology, you want to use, it's all the same thing, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, this book, written by Sun Tzu, is 2,000 years old. When I first ever picked up this book and read it, I wasn't that impressed, if I'm being honest. Yeah, everything I read in there, I was like, well, yeah, this is pretty obvious. This is pretty bog standard thinking. Whether, whatever kind of war or conflict you find yourself in, whether that's a spiritual one, a personal one, or an actual one that involves bombs and bullets and battleships and bombers and so on. So to think that, people in the US military have not picked up this book or don't have the basic knowledge of deception or strategic military planning is ridiculous. They know exactly what they're doing. The whole point of the US military is to lose every war it participates in the most expensive, protracted way possible, purposely to sort of change world stage, theatre, and events, and so on and so on and so on. I didn't really speak much about Epic Fury. I mean, I might, if I get time. I mean, the weather's, as you can hear, it's raining. The weather's pretty shit this week. So I might make a load of videos regarding Epic Fury. But for the most part, since the moment it started, I knew this was going to be a disaster. I knew what was going to happen within the script. Because it's obvious at this point now. Ridiculously obvious. But that's also built into the deception, yeah? Because they want you to spend your energy, time, and attention online pointing out all of the things. So that's also part of the trap. Yeah? Like with COVID, the whole reason they made COVID so obviously fake is so that everyone, every Tom, Dick, and Mohammed in the Matrix would rush to the internet and vent and rant and rave about how fake it was. That was all built into the illusion operation. Remember that, yeah? That they build that into the illusion operation. They make it obviously fake because at the end of the day, Operation Epic Fury is the same as the Ukraine war, 9/11, 7th of October, Israel, drones the size of cars in New Jersey, aliens walking around in Miami, Jews tunneling underneath New York, Epstein. It's all the same thing. It's all pushing forward the fourth industrial revolution, which is you, in some way, shape or form, spending your life in front of a black mirror, either giving energy or receiving fucking mind control from the black mirror, right? It's all the same thing, yeah? This is the big push, yeah? Ushering in the fourth industrial revolution, which I call the fourth wall industrial revolution, because ultimately what they really want is you in front of the camera, because your black screen, yeah, if you look at your black screen right now, there's a camera at the top of it, right? Doesn't matter, Apple, Android, Samsung, Huawei, Microsoft, Logitech, HP, whatever black screen you have, it's got a camera at the top of it, yeah? And this is what they call ISTAR: intelligence, surveillance, target acquisition, reconnaissance. Yeah, that's the sinister purpose of the internet. Yes, it's controlling your mind. It's putting all of these illusions inside the theatre of your mind, while simultaneously tracking everything you do. Yeah. So if you haven't covered up your cameras, what are you doing? You should either drill out the camera on your phone or put some tape over it at least. Never willingly film yourself. Never film others. And definitely do not film or take pictures of your children, because their silhouette and all of the features in between, like the spacing between their eyes, their nose, their teeth, is like is essentially a giant fingerprint. Yeah, so you're selling out your children if you take pictures of your own children and then, put it on Instagram, or just if you're just using one of these smartphone devices. Don't be lazy, yeah? Go and get a instant print camera and keep a photo book like we used to do before the internet was here, okay? Anyway, I digress a little bit. But back to the Sun Tzu's Art of War, the book, paragraph 17, point number 3 of the chapter called Attack Strategy. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. Yeah, man, so the USA is a very divided country, yeah? It should be called the Divided States of America. They are really, really into the whole left-right paradigm, crazy ideologies, different states, red and blue, all of this kind of shit, right? Now, every country is like that in the Western world. Britain is like that. France is like that. Italy is like that. Yeah, so it's not just the USA, but I would say that the USA seems to be the most divided. It would appear. I don't know that for sure. I can't prove that. I'm just saying from my viewpoint, it looks like America is way more divided than most countries. So you shouldn't really be going to war if your country is divided. Master Sun said this 2,000 years ago. I'm saying it to you right now. You cannot go to war and expect to win when your nation and your military is so divided. What you really want to be looking out for is any nation right now that is really, as it says, animated by the same spirit. Now, the last time I could think of this happening was Nazi Germany. The reason the Germans had so much success is there was a huge propaganda campaign that started after after Hitler became the Chancellor, of sort of pushing German pride, this ideology that the Germans were the chosen people to restore glory back to Europe. Yeah, lots of sort of camps were set up, a complete reform of the education system, basically saying how amazing the German people were. They say right now they put it down as like Aryan supremacy, but really it was about, making them think that they are Supermen, and obviously getting them to believe this before they go to war. This is very, very important, yeah? Yeah, illusion warfare can work both ways, yeah? You can technically use illusion warfare to make someone think that they're Superman, or make an entire nation think that they are Supermen, and then go rushing into a battle with that animated spirit. It can be done. So definitely look out for a nation right now that seems to be united by the same spirit and is very proud of their own nation. Because right now, in places like the USA, Britain, France, Germany, the propaganda is to make the indigenous people feel like shit about themselves and make them out to be like the demon, and that they're shit for being who they are and the skin they're born in. And therefore, that's not a good sign before you go to war, is it? And that's why I'm really skeptical about this idea that Britain is going to go to war directly with Russia, or that France is going to go to war directly with Russia, because that spirit you need, yeah, to have a massive recruitment drive and have men pick up rifles and put on the uniforms and live action role play a war, it can't really coexist with propaganda that's making the people of that country feel like shit about themselves. You get what I'm saying? There's a conflict of interest there. Unless they're going to put Germany, France, England, and the rest of European countries in a position like the USA where it's guaranteed they're going to lose. Yeah? You cannot go to war and expect to win when your nation is divided. We live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.
Thank you.